Good morning. This is Leonard Adams, and I am reading a portion from my book, Things I Wish My Father Had Told Me, page 112. And it reads as follows. I may interject as I read, or I may just read the passage and then talk. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll see. You may be tired of crying and wish you could simply turn off your feelings, desiring to feel neither joy nor pain, as joy seems elusive and pain seems infinite. But is any of this true, besides the fact that you believe it to be? While you may truly wish you had no feelings, your wish doesn't make the feelings go away. So why not accept and understand them? In order to feel joy, you must be able to feel pain. So that is a reason to be grateful for pain. Another reason is that feelings are one of the things that constitute the beauty of being human. While you cry because of pain, ponder a beauty of living that makes you also cry tears of joy. This is particularly going out to those who have suffered and you continually find yourself in this perpetual rut and you don't know when it's going to end. It doesn't seem like it's really going to have an end. You have found yourself in the deepest pit of despair, and you've come to the conclusion that maybe it's better not to have feelings at all, because the feelings hurt so much. Well, there are two things about that are essential to remember. One is that feelings are not something that we can get rid of just because we want to. There's just no way to stop feelings, no matter how hard you try to get. Some feeling somewhere, somehow, is going to push through. And if you continue to try to build that wall and hold the feelings back, eventually they're going to flow forth like a dam in a way that's uncontrollable for you. And you will find yourself doing things that you don't understand. You will find yourself going way above where you want to express yourself, way beyond how you want to express yourself in an uncontrollable way. And you don't want that. You don't want to live an uncontrolled life. You don't want to live a life where you don't know how you're going to respond. And the other thing about that is that feelings are indicators. Feelings are a result of our thoughts. And I know you've heard me say this before. They are always, 100% of the time, they're the result of the things that we are thinking. So when we find ourselves in a constant pit of despair, the best thing to do is to go back and say, what am I thinking that's causing me to feel this way? What are the thoughts that are causing those feelings? And then challenge those thoughts. As I've said before, challenge the thoughts that make you feel the way you don't want to feel. If you're feeling this way because it seems that there is no end to your misery, there will never be an end. If that's something you're telling yourself, for instance, then look at it logically. Is there such thing as eternal misery? It really doesn't exist, particularly not in this life. It just cannot exist because we're not eternal beings in this life. And at some point, we all die. So it is impossible for any feeling to be eternal. So that is a good way to think about the fact that no matter what you're going through, it's going to have an ending. And you have to have feelings, because if you don't have feelings, then you don't know where you are on the spectrum of thinking. And if you don't know where you are, you can allow yourself to think things that are going to hurt you about you. You can think things about yourself, about your situation that are hurting you. And if you are thinking those things, then you have the power to think those things, then you have the power to change what you are thinking about those things. But is any of it true besides the fact that you believe it to be? So, as I said, feelings come from thoughts, and thoughts may or may not be true. And that's the point about believing it to be. So just because I'm thinking something, just because I think something is happening the way it's happening, doesn't mean that it's actually happening that way. It could just simply be in my thoughts, and I'm causing my own misery. And I can certainly do something about that. While you may truly wish you had no feelings, your wish doesn't make the feelings go away. So why not accept and understand them? Why not go back to the thoughts that are causing those feelings? Why not challenge those thoughts? Why not allow yourself to change the way you're thinking? Thinking is habitual. Thinking is a habit. And if we don't take a proactive stand on the way we think, if we allow our brains and our minds to just go wherever they want to go, then we are in danger of continuing to follow the same negative loop that has gotten us in the position we are in now. And we certainly don't want that. And I promise you, this life, you want it to be the best life you can possibly live. And it cannot be that if you are not in control of the way you think. And it's a habit, as it is a habit that got you into the way of thinking that you are in now, so it is a habit to change that thinking. And it's work to change the habit, but habits can be changed. In order to feel joy, you must be able to feel pain. So that is a reason to be grateful for pain. You can't have the positive feelings only. There's no such thing as only positive feelings. You have to have them both. There's positive and there's negative. Positive feelings tell you that you are headed in a good direction in terms of your thinking, that your thinking is in line with the truth about life. Negative feelings sometimes can tell you that your thinking has changed. Now, of course, negative thinking sometimes also means that you are truly assessing a situation, but I can still change it to at least neutral thinking by saying, help me to control the things I can, accept what I can't control, and have the wisdom to know the difference. If something is out of my control, thinking about it is not going to put it in my control. If something is out of my control, worrying about it is not going to suddenly put it in my control. It will never be in my control if it's not in my control, and all I can do is accept it and allow it to be what it is and accept what it is and move on. I can't do anything else about it. And to try to beat my emotional brain against the wall to try to make something happen, it is impossible. It will not happen. All I will do is hurt and frustrate myself. Why do that? Why do that with this life when this is what we have? Why not make the best of life by accepting the things that we cannot change? Another reason is that feelings are one of the things that constitute the beauty of being human. While you cry because of pain, ponder a beauty of living that makes you also cry tears of joy. Be grateful for tears. I remember, because of the way I grew up, because I was so abused growing up, I got to the point where I was so hard emotionally. I was so hard, I would not let anyone or anything in my heart. I threw up a wall, and I refused to let anything pass that wall. What that did was create a miserable life for who? For the people who I was keeping out? No. It created misery for me. And I had to put that wall down, because when I put that wall up, when I tried to be hard, or when I was actually pretty successful at it, being hard and keeping people out, I also did not allow myself to feel the good things that I could feel, because you can't just You can't, when you put a wall up, you can't decide what's going to be on the other side of that wall emotionally. When you put a wall of emotion up, then you sever everything from being able to be expressed fully and truly. And that's not what you want. So please allow yourself to tear that wall down, no matter who has hurt you, no matter how much you've had to overcome, no matter how many times you've been hurt. Don't allow the wall to keep you from life, from beauty, from living, from the essence of all that is good, that is waiting for you in this life. Don't wait until it's too late and then regret that you didn't allow yourself to truly live because of people that have hurt you in the past. Let that go and live the best days of your life beginning right now.